Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers show that Tracy Quartermaine will come for Sneaky, Snaky, Martin Gray and Veronica Ronnie Bards. They cahoot to get the Q-Mance and all heck will be unleashed when Tracy finds out. Count on it. How did this whole mess start? Tracy transferred Martin to jail and he's ready for vengeance. Let's break down the chaos about to bust out in PC. Tracy and Martin tangle on the October 28th occasion. Suckers saw furious Martin rage about getting back at Tracy for trying to destroy him. He'll not be treated like this, and he intends to educate Tracy an assignment. Still, Tracy is the queen of swindles and there's no way that Martin and Ronnie will get down with their plot. This is deeply particular for Tracy, as Martin is playing with the Quartermaine estate and we've to admit that indeed he may not understand the inflexibility of the situation he's got himself into. Martin is playing with the Q heritage. Martin is trying to hurt Tracy by forging Monica Quartermaine's will to leave the house to Ronnie. That was bad, but his coming scheme is worse. Drew Kane buys the Mance. This is a low blow to the Qs, not just Tracy. Will Tracy exact vengeance on the shamefaced parties? Surely. Her wrath will make the Ice Princess situation look like child's play. Tracy will exact vengeance with Ronnie gone after dealing the house, that leaves Martin to absorb Tracy's wrath each alone. Of course, since this was his communicate, he deserves punishment. Maybe Ronnie will return at some point in this plot, but for now she beats a hasty exit after ruining Tracy's life. How will Tracy's vengeance plot unfold? Tell us, GH suckers, were you surprised by the quantum of venom Martin spewed to Ronnie about Tracy? We haven't seen that side of him ahead. In fact, his hostility recalls the evil his family Cyrus Renault used to unmask. Do you Martin is more intriguing as a villain, and does he earn whatever Tracy metes out to him for his treason? Be sure to catch up on everything passing with General Hospital right now. Come back then frequently for the hottest GH updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable, and gain access to the stylish cleaner intel on the web. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, November 3rd. It's been a while, but at long last it seems Tracy is reclaiming her spot as the top canine. Did we ever misdoubt she would? Commodity manages to ruffle Drew's feathers. Oh Brit, who catches you with your hand in the proverbial cookie jar this time? When Sonny goes to Alexis chapeau in hand, will she give him what he wants? Might we eventually get further word on Gio and Emma's plan now that they're putting it in stir? General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, November 4th. Brit is on the entering end of a warning she should surely take seriously. Portia and Jordan are about to butt heads. Not exactly surprising, given that Jordan went running to Curtis with Portia's baby news. Just how important will Martin tell Laura when he takes her into his confidence? Someone manages to balk Rocco's plan. Alexis and Drew have been on a collision course for a while now, and moment they'll surely disaccord. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, November 5th. Anna knows how to handle herself, but she might need help when she winds up in danger. As usual, Gio proves to be the voice of reason. But will anybody actually hear? When Danny needs someone in his corner, he'll find Alexis standing there. Is the meeting Sonny takes with Justine about business or pleasure? Does the fact that both Spinelli and Felicia are breathing easier means there's good news about Maxie? General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, November 6th. Jocelyn gets a new assignment. Will it put her in peril formally again? Tracy might find that the road ahead is a long bone. Lucas is in for a surprise from Marco, but will it be a welcome bone? Felicia has a new case. Someone with a veritably familiar face arrives in Port Charles. How will their appearance shake effects up? General Hospital spoilers for Friday, November 7th. Sonny needs someone to talk to, so he calls in his favorite listening post, Jason. Laura's about to get some bad news that could impact her attempt to remain mayor of Port Charles. How will Valentine feel about the rearmost update he receives from Carly? Ava manages to make a veritably big print on Sidwell. Emma and Charlotte put their heads together to come up with a new plan. Join soaps.com as we consider the week's head rasp in our brand new edition of Detergents Burning Questions below. The great room of the Quartermaine mansion was, for once, living up to its name. Sunlight, rich and buttery, poured through the towering windows, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air like flecks of gold. The room, usually a stage for corporate machinations and familial cold wars, had been transformed. The scent of lilies and polished silver mingled with the faint, sweet aroma of champagne. At the center of it all, held securely in the arms of his beaming mother, Brooke Lynn, was the reason for this fragile truce, baby Leo. Today was his baptism. It was to be a spectacle of Quartermaine unity, a public performance of solidarity and new beginnings. Tracy Quartermaine stood near the marble fireplace, her posture rigid, her smile a carefully crafted mask of matriarchal approval. Ned, ever the dutiful son, circulated with a tray of flutes, his easy charm a buffer against the underlying tensions. Dylan chatted with Monica, whose frail form was bolstered by the joy of the occasion. Even the usually brooding Valentine Cassadine had deigned to appear, observing the scene with an inscrutable expression. The priest, a kindly man named Father Evans, moved through the gathering, offering gentle smiles and soft words. The atmosphere was thick with the unspoken language of the wealthy and powerful, a symphony of rustling silk, the clink of crystal, and the low murmur of conversation that carefully avoided landmine topics like corporate takeovers, past betrayals, and incarcerated relatives. Brooke Lynn, radiant in a cream-colored dress, looked down at Leo, her heart a tangled knot of love, anxiety, and a desperate, fervent hope. This day was her declaration. However chaotic his conception, however complicated his family tree, Leo was a Quartermaine. This baptism was his official welcome, his shield. She whispered into the soft fuzz of his hair, her voice a private prayer. Today, everything changes, my love. Today, you are blessed, you are protected. You are surrounded by family. Nothing and no one can ever hurt you. They were encouraging words, meant as much for herself as for her son. She was building a fortress of tradition and sacrament around him, brick by holy brick. Ned approached her, his eyes soft. He's perfect, Brooke Lynn. Absolutely perfect. He placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. Today is a fresh start for all of us. A reminder of what truly matters. Tracy joined them, her gaze sweeping over the child with an unusual warmth. He has the Quartermaine chin. And the resolve. This family has weathered storms that would have shattered lesser dynasties. Today, we celebrate our future. Our legacy. Her words, though typically laced with a sense of dynasty, were also meant as encouragement, a benediction of belonging. The ceremony was to be held in the mansion's grand library, a room lined with leather-bound books that held more secrets than any diary. The guests began to filter in, finding their seats on the velvet-covered chairs arranged before a small, ornate table that served as a makeshift altar. On it sat a simple silver bowl, filled with water that caught the light, shimmering with a deceptive purity. As Father Evans took his place, a hush fell over the room. The baptism was beginning. Dearly beloved, Father Evans began, his voice a calm, resonant baritone that filled the high-ceilinged room. We are gathered here in the sight of God and this community to welcome Leo into the family of Christ, to cleanse him with the waters of baptism, and to celebrate the grace that is bestowed upon him. Brooke Lynn stood before the altar, Leo cradled in her arms. Ned stood firmly beside her as her rock, his presence a solid wall against the world. She felt a surge of emotion, this was it. The moment of purification. The moment the past would be washed away, and Leo's life would truly begin, untainted by the scandals and shadows of his parents. The priest continued, speaking of light overcoming darkness, of love casting out fear. He addressed the family. Do you, as Leo's family and community, promise to support Brooke Lynn and Ned as they raise this child in the Christian faith and life? A unified, if slightly stiff, we do rippled through the Quartermaines. It was then that a subtle commotion at the back of the library caught Brooke Lynn's eye. A side door, usually kept locked, had opened. A figure stood there, partially obscured by shadow. Her heart stuttered. It wasn't a guest. It was a uniformed police officer. And beside him, in handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit that screamed like a siren in the refined room, was Ronnie. A cold dread, sharp and immediate, pierced through Brooklyn's hopeful haze. What was he doing here? His transfer to a federal penitentiary was scheduled for today. They had made sure of it. They had paid, pulled strings, and called in